How's everyone doing?
Great, Coach.
Wonderful day, great day, blessed day. Great game. Alabama State came to play. They were prepared. They were ready. They put up a tremendous fight. Um, I loved every minute of it. I didn't like the dysfunction of it, but I loved every minute of it. Our team overcame tremendous adversity. Just the scheduling and the traffic that got us there a little tardy that kind of threw off the rhythm early on in the game, and we started out tremendously slow because our guys weren't even there yet. They were still on the darn highway somewhere in traffic. But I got to give them credit. Um, they overcame that nonsense and they got out there and did what they needed to do and came on strong in the second half, which is a tribute to our strength and conditioning coach Mo that does a phenomenal job of conditioning our players. The second halves have been wonderful for us throughout the entire season. And it was a great homecoming. They put on a great show. I heard our band really did the doggone thing. Sonic Boom, God bless you. And I'm proud of them. I'm proud of everybody from Jackson State.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. We'll now open up for questions. First question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach?
How you doing, boss man?
I'm doing well.
Hold on. I'm trying to see you. I like to see you when you talk. There you go.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask a little bit about fourth quarter. This is the one game this season where the things were still kind of in the balance during the fourth quarter, but you've had an 11-play, 78-yard drive. Talk a little bit about that drive itself and how gratifying it was to see Jackson State respond under those circumstances.
Well, it seems as though Shador wasn't in rhythm. He didn't have his rhythm. He didn't have his whole that presence that he normally has, even though the statistics show otherwise. And we went into the tent and like, hey, let's go, baby. This is it. This is what the big dogs are made of. And he took us down, made some tremendous runs, got out of the pocket, ran to extend first downs quite a bit, which is unlike what he normally does. But he saw a situation that he took advantage of, and we made the plays that we needed to make. We needed to be there for our defense. They had been slightly dominant the whole darn game. I mean, I'm sitting up here looking at some of the statistics defensively. They played their butts off as usual, but we went down there and got it done. The mark of a good team is when you're not performing well, but you still overcome adversity and get the W. That says a lot. So I can't be critical of my guys. They overcame adversity and the coaches coached their butts off.
A quick follow-up, Coach. You mentioned it earlier, but the unique circumstances in terms of getting to Montgomery and trying to, put your finger on the slow start. What do you make of that?
That's on us, man. That's on us. That's on us, the people that's not on the field. We need to do a better job of preparing and getting our kids where they need to be. I mean, just getting to this. I think we had to be on the field at 1:10 or something like that. We had just gotten there and darn it won. So and I didn't want them to rush because everyone has routines, especially the quarterbacks. They have little routines they go through and little things they do, and you don't want to disrupt that consistency. And we always preach consistency, and we were not consistent for our kids, and that would never happen again. If God is willing.
Sure thing. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBC Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Sam.
How you doing, sir?
Doing well. As you said, your defense continues to play lights out, but I wanted to focus a little bit about the offensive side of the ball. The combination of being able to pass and rush the ball. Savion Wilkerson continues to do his thing, but as a team, you had over 100 yards.
Yeah.
Shador, even though you talk about not being in a rhythm, that's amazing to me when you look at 30 for 46, over 65% completion rating, putting up another 332 yards in the game. Talk about the combination of those two and what you're able to do on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, I think we're getting a little like a days ago with the run because we throw the ball a heck of a lot and we're not as physical as we need to be. Wilkerson is wonderful. We have several backs that can get the job done. I think we're averaging $170 rushing the football, and we were under that, well under that this week. Shador added tremendous runs, which helped those numbers equate to what they were. But we got to be much more physical regarding the run because that gives us more balance. We could throw the ball with anyone. Sooner or later, you blitzes, we're going to make you pay. We may miss a few, but we're going to make you pay sooner or later. And with Shador, like we have brunch every Sunday morning. And my first statement to him is that you don't miss 16 players. You don't do that.
Mm.
You're better than that. See, it seems like it's not a lot, but to us, to our expectation that we have for one another, Shador is
Understand.
not a young man that will miss 16 players with the football. He's truly accurate. That's one of his gifts. So we're gonna go back to the lab, and he already has. He's going to get his shoulders checked out. He's a little banged up to make sure he's ready to go this weekend.
Talking about
And-
going. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No problem. Going back to the lab, as you said, you turn to the next week's game against Bethune-Cookman on the road. You come in with a team that can do some things, but the record has not really showed in terms of wins. How do you continue to build on the consistency you talk about your team to get in there and do what you want to do offensively and defensively in this matchup?
Well, that's on me and the coaches. We can't allow, just because you play a team, that record does not indicate who they are. Bethune-Cookman is a good program. They have a good coach. They have a good team. Don't allow the record to indicate what you think they are. They're much better than their record. Mississippi Valley, Coach Dancy, he's much better than his record. These guys can coach their butts off. So you got to just make sure you don't set yourself up for a tremendous letdown, because you got to understand, you're the dogs. Everyone is hunting you. You're the ones. You're everyone's homecoming. And you got to go out there and do what you got to do, because everyone is going to be up to play against you, because they're measuring themselves by who we are. I heard all last week, y'all ain't this, y'all ain't that. Well, at the end of the game, we was up by 14. That's what I saw. And we didn't really play well. Consequently, you guys forced us to not play well, but we won by 2 touchdowns. That's pretty darn good.
Good point. Thanks, Coach. Look forward to the matchup.
Thank you, my man. I do too.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach Prime, I hope you and everybody at JSU are well. Can you talk a little bit about Shador, his development, even on a day where it's not all that, he's still all that. Talk about that gentleman as he continues to grind.
I'm hearing a voice. Thank you. There you go. I keep hearing a voice, like someone has their, I guess, their mic on or whatever. His development, is that what the ending where you landed? Shador is a workhorse, man. He's a workaholic. I believe on the bye week, Shador had an appearance, he had a commercial he had to shoot in California. He got off the plane at midnight, and the kids are in a workout facility in Houston that flew down there and drove down there, his receivers, and they got it in at 2:00 in the morning. Then they got right back up the next day, and I think they were on the field again at 5 p.m. So that's just who he is. It's been many times in the summer that they felt like they didn't practice well. I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm going home, and I see the guys out there working, the whole offense working. I mean, like a machine, I'm like, dang, like they ain't playing. So that's the type of leader he is. I wish you could mic him. Well, we mic him so we could hear what he says. I wish the general public could hear what he says, besides the profanity at times. You can understand the type of leader and his expectation for routes and all of that. Like when I see, and I can tell when he's frustrated, you may not can tell on television, but I say, what's going on? He said, we busting too many darn routes. And he lights into them. Like he does not play about the perfection that he wants to attain for this offense. And Coach Brett is doing a wonderful job of dialing it up. I mean, you got to figure on, it seems as though an off game, we only scored 26 points, I believe. I think we had 440 yards, complete total offense. That's beneath what we normally have, but shoot, I know a lot of SWAC teams will take it.
Coach, you return home to Florida soil, if you will. It's North Florida, it's Jacksonville, it's Bethune. Just talk about what fans can expect this week.
We're happy and elated to be playing in a professional stadium. Although I wish it was a smaller stadium, because I like the optics being well, especially for HBCUs. When the television camera pans around, I like things to look packed and filled, and people want to get in, not empty. And you could just say hello and it echoes hello. I don't want that situation in that huge stadium. But we're excited to go to Jacksonville to play. We're excited to go to Florida to play. I think we have close to 20 players that derive from the state of Florida that I'm going to try my best, even the walk-ons that may not even participate in the game, I'm going to try my best to make certain they go. It depends on how that list goes, because we're flying there as well, but we're excited, and we're not underestimating Bethune-Cookman by any means. One thing about the SWAC, any given Saturday, someone could be upset. They truly can. And we don't want to fall into that temptation.
Last question goes to John Bryce.
Hey, Coach Prime, appreciate, as always, the chance to visit with you, man. John Bryce here from Football Scoop again. I wanted to ask you about how you have went about the process of assembling your coaching staff, and then particularly how you met with Coach Bartolone and decided to hire him as your offensive coordinator.
Well, I went to one of the best minds offensively in college football, and he's right down the street at Mississippi State. That's Mike Leach. And he recommended 3 of his guys that runs his system pretty well. You got to understand, I knew what type of defense we had with Dennis Thurman leading the way, and then the guys that we recruited. Now, we still missing 3 starters on the defense that you haven't even seen yet. You've seen Travis, but he'll be back really soon. But I asked Dennis Thurman a true question. Can you handle 10 to 15 more snaps? And you got to understand that's a real question, because some defenses have a breaking point. And you have an offense that scores, and you put them out there too long, they're going to break. That's why you see some of the premier colleges. I'm not going to call any names because I don't want to degrade any of those schools. But the problem has been defenses. They score a lot, but they can't stop anybody. But I know we could stop somebody. So now the recipe is to score a lot. So we had an interview process with a couple of my coaches, and Shador was involved because he has to be comfortable. And Coach Brett, shoot, he knocked it out of the park, man. He did. And we had a chemistry, and that's important. You got to get down with me if you want to coach at Jackson State, because this is how it's going to go, and this is going to go this way. But we have to understand what we're trying to accomplish together. And let me tell you something, man. Coach Brett came running, drove all the way from Nevada, wherever he came from, and I don't even think he stopped for gas, but he made it here, and he's been a blessing to us all. He can get the ball down the darn field, and I admire him and respect the heck out of him. And he's very relatable with all kids. All kids. He's very relatable and understanding with all kids. And that's something that you really have to take note. You can't just choose a staff that can coach their butt off, but can't relate to the kid. Or can relate to the kid, but don't know how to coach. Then relate to the kid, don't know how to coach, but they can't recruit. You got to really understand the totality of this coaching thing, and it's real to us.
And then just following up, I talked with Coach Minner this morning over at Campbell, and I know you guys have a huge showdown coming up. So not trying to get you to look ahead on your schedule necessarily, but I think that's a really exciting game for a lot of people. And I wondered if you could tell us how that game came about and how important it is for a game like that, pitting 2 former NFL players who were really good now coaching at the FCS level as head coaches.
But not only that, 2 guys that have tremendous amount of respect for one another and running a prominent, respectable program. He's a good guy, man, and he's doing some phenomenal things over there. And I think our wonderful AD, Ashley Robinson, just reached out and called him because we had a date open. We were trying to fill with a opponent that can play, not someone that's a cupcake. That's someone that can flat out play, and that's what they present. And he does a great job of recruiting, does a great job of coaching, and they can play the game. And they have some few guys that are pro caliber guys as well as like we do. So it should be a tremendous contest after we take care of this game this week, and we go down to Jacksonville and prayerfully handle our business.
Coach Prime, Andrew, I really appreciate your time each week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. You do a great job too. I read your stuff. I check out your videos, man. You do a tremendous job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Coach Sanders, as always, we sincerely appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you. God bless you all, man. Wish you all the best. Let's go do this. Let's dominate. Whatever you're doing in your life, let's dominate it. God bless.